Media Composer includes a host of effects and transitions to add design style to your projects. We'll look at the simplest of these right now, the dissolve. First, make sure your video record selector is enabled. Here, we want to add some dissolves between the establishing shots at the start of the sequence.
It is the most unforgiving place on Earth. Over 3.5 million square miles. A vast wilderness.
Drag the position indicator near the first transition point. It doesn't have to be exactly on. Click the Quick Transition button. By default, it's set to create a dissolve transition, though feel free to experiment with others. Often, the defaults will work just fine for you. Here, we have a 1-second dissolve, which in this project will cover 24 frames. Use the visual guide at the center of the dialogue to make quick adjustments to the dissolve. The darker segments indicate footage that isn't currently being displayed in the timeline, but is available from the master clips to add into the dissolve if you decide to make it longer. Drag the center of the dissolve to shift the entire effect earlier or later, and drag the edges to extend or reduce its duration. We're just adding a dissolve to the picture here, so make sure the audio tracks are deselected in the Apply To section. Click Add or press Enter, and the transition effect is added to your sequence. You should be able to instantly play back the effect in real time.
It is the most unforgiving place on Earth. Over 3.5 million square miles.
Now, sometimes a dissolve will include bad frames of video that were hidden when there was just a straight cut between the two clips. This could be a shaky camera movement or a flash frame of a completely different scene. In this case, we have a zoom adjustment during the dissolve in of the B-side clip.
I want to push us into the ground, obviously.
It's easy to fix this by adjusting the transition using the Smart tool. Move the position indicator close to the dissolve transition. Click the Smart tool toggle to deactivate any active tools, and then select the Transition Manipulation tool. In the timeline, drag the middle of the transition to shift it forwards or backwards in time, or drag the left or right edge of the transition to trim its start or end point. As you make your adjustments, you'll see 6 different frames in the Composer window. At the top, you'll see the first, middle, and last frame in the transition of the A side, while the bottom displays the first, middle, and last frame of the B side.
I don't want to push us into the ground, obviously, but I'll push us damn close.
Dissolves aren't just for video. An audio transition is automatically added with the video dissolve whenever there's an audio cut at the transition point. Here, we want to create an audio dissolve to help smooth the shift in sound between clips, but we want to keep the transition between video segments as a straight cut. Let's mute the soundtrack and take a listen. You'll hear definite shifts in audio ambience between the clips due to passing traffic.
We saw a young boy in the desert alone, fending for himself while his dad was a 2 days walk away to get water.
To create an audio-only dissolve, deselect the video record patch button, but select the audio buttons and apply the dissolve just like before using the quick transition button. Try a short duration, say 4 frames. Now you have a smooth crossfade between the audio of the two clips.
I saw a young boy in the desert alone.
But you've kept a straight cut in the video. To delete a transition effect, make sure its track selector is enabled, park the position indicator over the transition, and click the Remove Effect button. That's it. We've barely even scraped the surface of what your Avid has to offer in the way of effects here. Open the Effect palette, and you'll see a wide array of powerful transitions and effects, including sophisticated color correction. Quick word of advice though, be sparing with your use of transitions. Make sure you have an important reason for using a dissolve over a straight cut. Too many dissolves will slow down the pace of your sequence. For professionalism, stick to straight cuts for the majority of your edits and save dissolves for transitioning out of things like titles.